Guys, so roughly right now we have about as many assets as we do or did protecting the Iranians from protecting the Israelis from the Iranian missiles that were coming in recently. So roughly about 5,300 sailors, um, about 10 vessels, including a nuclear-powered submarine. Um, at least one of them. We know at least one's there, but you never know where they are. They don't usually give you. They'll never give you the exact location. Obviously, there is the U.S. Charles Ford, which is an aircraft carrier. It's one of the newer variants, which is a $13 billion asset that has roughly 36 or so F-35 a B variant, so they can take off vertically if needed. So yeah, right now they have this roughly the same amount of assets as they did protecting Israel from Iran's missiles that were coming in during the 11-day war. While previous to that, no, during the 11-day war. So they were able to get some missiles off. And during that, they had about roughly the same amount of assets as they do in the Caribbean. In fact, it's the biggest buildup right now in the Caribbean. And if you guys could guess, when the biggest during the Cuban Missile Crisis was the other buildup that was obviously, they literally blockaded Cuba back during John F. Kennedy's presidency. But what we do know now, it's mainly in the Atlantic because that's Venezuela has the most coastline there. Obviously, it has a lot of assets heading to the Caribbean, and then they usually dump it there, and then it gets moved into the United States. When I say it, I mean like fentanyl and other drugs like cocaine, obviously. About 10 ships altogether. The last one was in the Pacific. Actually, it's 8 total now have been hit with Hellfire missiles, cruise missiles. So, a lot of times these ships would get out of international waters and end up in a different country, out of jurisdiction in the United States, and they would get away a lot of the time. But this is going to start them to really rethink, because it basically is a narco state. Like people didn't realize Syria was making these pills, and when they started to overthrow parts of Assad's government, they noticed. They were involved in about 80% of the drugs, the amphetamines going around in Europe and Asia. It's